Hey everyone, Isaiah here at Huntin Full, and I'm coming at you today with another episode of Mastering the Draw. Today we're going to be talking about Montana black bear hunting. As we head into March, it's a call we get pretty often this time of year on guys that want to go on a black bear hunt. Never been before, they just want to get started, get out west, see some beautiful country, and there's really no better place to start than in Montana. So throughout this video, we're going to discuss acquiring a tag, cost, reporting, hunt methods, and then spring versus fall season. So let's jump right in. So acquiring a tag in Montana is pretty simple. They do allow both residents and non-residents to purchase tags over the counter, in person or online. Personally, I like to purchase it online well in advance. That way it gets to me. If you do lose it, you can stop at a licensing vendor and print a duplicate out. I've had to do that before. So for non-residents, it is a little pricey, $350 for the bear tag. And then you're looking at an additional $25 for your conservation and base hunting license. Residents, on the other hand, they have it pretty easy. They're only $19 for the bear tag, and then another $18 into their conservation and base hunting license. So again, it's pretty affordable either way you look at it. But also remember, if anyone's going out during strictly the archery only season in September, you will have to purchase the $10 archery stamp. One thing a lot of people aren't even aware of in Montana is they do require you to take a bear identification test. And the reason being is Montana is a state with a pretty high number of grizzly bears that kind of coexist with the black bears. So it's just a test for you to identify the difference between a grizzly bear, black bear, and then also sow with cubs versus, just young juvenile bears. So it's an online course. It's 15 questions. You only have to get 12 of them right, which is 80%. And if you fail it the first time, you don't need to worry. You can retake it right away as many times as you need to get a pass. And then once you do take it, it's on your record forever. So if you go out the following year to do a bear hunt, you do not have to take that again. But it is a good test. It does open your eyes up to some different scenarios and just helps you better identify what you're looking at. Montana is also a state that's pretty wide open when it comes to quotas. There are only 3 units in the state, which most of these are on the east side. Units 510, 520, and 700. And they all have a female quota in place. And again, they're in areas with a low bear density, so they're just trying to protect that population. So if you end up hunting out there, just be sure to check on those to make sure those are open. They do have a spring and fall quota. Rest of the state is wide open, no quota in place. Harvest reporting. Again, something a lot of people don't take into consideration is once you harvest a bear, do you need to do anything? And the answer is yes. You have 48 hours to call in to Montana's hotline, check-in line, and basically give them, they'll ask you a series of questions. Where did you harvest a bear, male or female, name of the drainage. So it's a good idea to mark on your GPS or onX that location. And again, this can be done online or over the phone. And then prior to 2020, Montana did require anyone that harvested a bear to meet in person with a game warden and have the hide sealed, an inspection done, and pull the tooth. And like I said, they do not require that anymore. But if you are interested in your bear's age or do want to help Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks out with further study of the bears, you can pull a tooth and send it in to them. Again, there's a form online, makes it super simple. Hunt methods. Montana, unlike Idaho, only allows you to hunt bears spot and stalk. So no baiting is allowed across the board any species, and you are not allowed to use hounds to chase or harvest bears during spring or fall season. So spot and stock it is. You're going to spend a lot of time glassing, driving around, and enjoying the scenery. Again, a lot of guys want to know what the difference is between spring and fall, and is your tag good for both of those seasons? And yes, your tag is good for both seasons. You can buy it and go out and hunt in the spring. If you do not harvest during the spring, you can use that same tag in the fall. So that is pretty nice if you go out spring bear hunting and then want to go back on a deer and elk hunt and you haven't filled that tag. Keep it around, because good chance you could run into one. In spring, all of Montana seasons open April 15th, and then they will either close May 31st or June 15th. And most of the areas that close in June are in areas with high bear numbers, the access is a little harder, and snowpack. So a few years ago, Montana had a survey. They did a bunch of research on bears, especially in region 2, and just realized they had an incredible number of bears in that area, and they just weren't harvesting enough. And a big factor was guys could not access a lot of that country because it was still under snow, or the roads were just impassable. So they extended the season, which makes it really nice. And so that's where you will see that take place. In the fall, you do have a short window for an archery only season, which coincides with the deer and elk season. So if you're hunting during that time, you will need the archery stamp, but after September 15th, that is when the rifle bear season opens, and it runs clear till November 19th. So during that time frame, you can use either weapon. And do remember, in Montana, it is a state that requires hunter's orange during the spring or fall. You're required to have 400 square inches of it. All right, now that we've gone over all the little logistics, a big thing to take in consideration is areas to focus on. Basically, you can draw a line right down through Montana, and anything west of Bozeman, anything west of that is going to have a way higher bear density than anything to the east of it. If you've been out east, you'll know that it's more antelope country, grasslands, not many trees, not a ton of cover, where everything west of Bozeman, you're looking at more mountain ranges, lots of tree cover, lots of vegetation, lots of berries in the fall. So that's where you're going to see an increase in bear numbers, is on the west side of the state. Now, if you're going out in the spring, depending on the time of year, whether you're going out closer to the opener or later, will kind of determine on what you're looking for as far as food source. So early on, a lot of that high country is still going to be under snow. So you're going to be hunting lower elevations where the grass is kind of just popping up, getting green. And then as the year goes on, really I like to focus on kind of chasing the snow line up the mountain, because when a bear comes out of the den, they've been hibernating for, several months. Their system's pretty worn down. So they need lots of green grass, plants, roots, and water to kind of get their system going and get them active. So focusing on, like I said, really green grass, areas with good water source, you're probably going to find a bear. And as you move into the fall, you got to remember that, you just went through a summer, all the grass is dead or dying. So the bears shift their focus from the grass to, say, berries, fruits, and meats. And like I said, on the west side, along the Idaho border, clear up to Canada, there is a tremendous huckleberry crop most years. And those bears love the berries. Huckleberries, chokeberries, any type of berry that has, good nutrients, the bear is going to be in those areas. And then, you start to look into more populated areas with humans and stuff, where you have apple trees and orchards. Those bears definitely wander down and, pick apart fruit trees in neighborhoods and stuff like that. So they're also going to be focusing on, meat that time of year, higher protein content. Heading into the den, they want to be fat and happy. So If you find a carcass, or you're on a hunt and you harvest a deer or an elk, it's not a bad idea to go back and check that carcass a day or two later, because like I said, they're planning, they're prepping to get in the den in a couple months. And so they're trying to put on as much fat as possible. So like I said, any good berry source, food source, those bears are going to be targeting them that time of year. All right, if you have any follow-up questions on any of this, feel free to drop us a comment below, give us a call, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have lots of great content out there that we do truly believe will help you get out in the field and go on more hunts.